Hello, welcome, and thank you for watching this month's Tarot Talk. I'm intuitive reader Bryan Stafford from Stafford Tarot, and today's Tarot Talk topic is going to be about using your intuition. Now, to give some time for some viewers to join me on this live broadcast, I'm just going to talk a little bit about what's new at Stafford Tarot and some of those upcoming events to look forward to in the near future. And then we'll get right into that Tarot Talk topic discussion. Now, if you're watching this from my website and you're just interested to view the sample readings, feel free to skip ahead in this video about 20-30 minutes, as I will be offering those free short remote readings online during the live to those in the chat who show interest during this broadcast. So if you're watching and you're interested in receiving a free reading tonight, just write interested in the chat and I will keep watch for that. I will write on my list and give the readings in that order. I should mention that there have been some technical difficulties with doing this in the past. If you experience a delay where you've put in the chat and I don't seem to be seeing it, it sometimes takes about 20 or 30 seconds for me to see the actual messages appear while I'm in the broadcast. So just be patient with me and we'll work with the technology that we have. Have some patience and we'll get through it. But if anyone is interested to receive those readings, just write interested in the chat and I will add you to the list as we go through the evening. So, to give some time for some more viewers to join, what's new at Stafford Tarot? You can always check out the website. It has recently been expanded at www.staffordtarot.com. There you can learn about the services in person, remote, group readings, corporate options that I have, fundraising options, and as well as distant subscriptions, all sorts of options available to receive readings from me at staffordtarot.com. You can also read the many testimonials that have been available there, made available and submitted. I really appreciate anyone who submits their testimonial. Thank you so much. You can also watch previous Tarot Talk live events. So in these events, they are live, but when at the end of the night they are saved, downloaded, and kept for anyone to watch all the previous Tarot Talk topic and previous readings as well. And then of course you can even scroll through the section that's titled Learn to Do Tarot for Yourself. And this is a very helpful, it's meant to be very supportive section, and in that section includes the free video lessons, all available at staffordtarot.com. Now, if you're interested to find out what's new and upcoming in 2025, check out my website. There is an article on there on some of the exciting ideas that are coming, as well as some of the events that to look forward to, including the Witches Gathering Conference in May 2025. It's going to happen May 2nd and May 3rd, that weekend. Is going to be full of excitement at the Witches Gathering Conference. It's taking place in Ancaster, Ontario at the Ancaster Fairgrounds. Excellent event. This event is hosted by Luna Events Canada, and it's going to have a market attached to it, as well as a sort of a psychics fair section, as well as courses, lectures, and talks that you can get involved in and join, all relating to witchcraft, divination, and spirituality. It's going to be a great event. I'm going to be teaching an Introduction to Witchcraft course there, so check it out. All the information's available on my website, and there's links there to purchase tickets. As well, coming up in May is the Learn to Do Tarot online workshop that I'm going to be hosting myself online on May 16th, 2025. It's going to start about 8 p.m. Eastern Time, around similar to most of my workshops, and there is an early bird discount available until April 21st, 2025. So check that out. All the information available on my website, staffordtarot.com. Now, some of those upcoming events, more recent upcoming events to look forward to. Tomorrow, Wednesday, November 20th, 2024, at 8 p.m. will be the Sacred Meadow Circle virtual gathering. I'm going to be involved in that gathering, and I'm also going to be offering free short mini readings afterwards, if that's supportive to anyone who joins the gathering. So please join. The Sacred Meadows Circle is actually connected to the it's hosted by the Ask a Grey Witch website, and the Ask a Grey Witch website is sponsored by Stafford Tarot. So there's the connection there. And then after that, I have the Enchanted Holiday Market hosted by Luna Events Canada on Saturday, November 23rd, 2024. It's going to run from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Time. That's happening in Fergus, Ontario at the Fergus Community Sportsplex. Check it out. There's going to be a lot of interesting things there. There's over 40 vendors, and including the Stafford Tarot table, where I will be offering free one-card impression pulls to anyone who comes to me during that market while I'm between private readings. And I believe the admission is free, and the first 30 people receive a swag bag, which has gifts from most of the vendors of the market. So it's going to be an excellent night. Check it out. Again, the Fergus Community Sportsplex for the Enchanted Holiday Market on Saturday, November 23rd. And then I will have my New Moon Oracle poll available leading up to December 1st, 2024. Watch for that on my website, staffordtarot.com. And I'm also involved in a really great fundraiser coming up called the Enchanted Evening. This is hosted by Uniquely Pure. It's at the Uniquely Pure Studio in Bellwood, Ontario on Saturday, December 7th, 2024. It's going to run from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this is a great fundraiser, a great way to get involved and support the community. And all of the proceeds go towards supporting the Guelph Youth Music Center. The Guelph Youth Music Center is a very special building and organization that hosts and in-houses many other organizations that help youths sing songs, play music, learn theory, all sorts of programs running there for all sorts of ages of youths and children. All their information is available on their website, gymc.ca, and you can get more information about the Uniquely Pure fundraiser on my website, and that links to the event on their website as well. On Monday, December 9th, I'm going to have a free draw. This is my monthly draw that I usually offer. It's a 1 in 5 chance to win a free remote reading over Zoom. So the difference between a distant reading and a remote reading is that a distant reading, there's much less interaction. Sort of like on this broadcast when I give free readings, it's more of a distant interaction. I maybe find out a topic or question, and there isn't so much opportunity for feedback, information, questions, sharing the background perhaps, or the stories or details. And so a remote reading is more one-on-one with me over Zoom, where you get that chance to ask questions and dive into those readings a little deeper. And that is going to be how you get involved in that draw. You simply like, comment, or share any social media that mentions the draw. Or you can reach out to me personally and just let me know that you'd like to be involved, and I will add you to that list. Anyone who doesn't hear back from me on December 9th, it usually happens around 10 a.m. in the morning that day. If no one hears back to me during that day, better luck next time. I only respond to the winners. And it is a monthly draw, so check my website for upcoming dates on that. And then the Full Moon Oracle poll will be available leading up to December 15th, 2024. And all of that leads up to my next Tarot Talk live event, which happens on Tuesday, December 17th, 2024. And that tarot topic is going to be about using tarot during the holidays. It's going to be an interesting topic. Please join me on that day on December 17th. However, this Tarot Talk topic tonight is about using intuition. And we're going to get right into that Tarot Talk topic. Now, I do see some people have joined me on this podcast. Hello, hi everybody. I see everyone saying hi. I'm going to start my list for the 6 free readings tonight. I'm going to start with Elizabeth. And then I'll give a reading to Roseanne Darby. And then Lindsay Stafford. Hi Alex, great to see you. Thanks for joining. I'm doing well. How about yourself? And Meg Ferris is on my list. So I have 4 people on my list. I have 2 spots available. Anyone else who might be interested to receive a reading tonight, just let me know and I will add you to that list. Right now, the list so far in the order is Elizabeth, Roseanne, then Lindsay, then Meg. And I have 2 other spots available. Let me know if there's any issues with my audio, or if you can all hear me okay. I'm receiving some warnings that my internet connection may be slow or choppy. I really hope it's not interfering or affecting the quality of the video. I'm just going to try and push through that as good as I can. And anyone who's interested to receive a reading and you're not on the list, just let me know and I'll add you to the list as we go through. Also, I should let you know that each reading takes about 10 or 15 minutes, and so because I have 4 people on my list already, anyone who's added to the list has about an hour wait, roughly, before your time will come up. So please just be patient and stay on the call, and your time will come up, and I will give you that free reading. Hi Alex, thanks so much. I will definitely give you a reading as well. And I have 1 spot available for anyone who's interested. Now, if you don't get on my list and you are hoping for a reading tonight, I do have that free draw coming up in December that you can always get involved with. It's a 1 in 5 chance to win, and so you have good odds to get in. What that means, 1 in 5 chance, how I organize that is that if I receive 5 people, I'm choosing 1 winner. Over 5 people, I'm choosing 2 winners. Over 10 people, I choose 3 winners, and etc. I keep that going until I keep the ratio within 1 in 5. So tonight's Tarot Talk topic is about using your intuition. First, I want to just quickly break one of the misconceptions about intuition, that it's often brushed aside as a mystical or supernatural thing, and it's actually not. It takes time and effort to create a relationship with our intuition, and it's really about understanding the subconscious without being conscious of what we're understanding fully. It's kind of like subconscious whispers or mixes of patterns and emotions that we then connect with whatever's happening in the moment. It's really a connection to our brain's ability to recognize those patterns based on our associations and our life experiences. So if I've been through an experience and I would then create associations that connect with that experience. An example would be, I guess, an example of an association would be like a rose. Some people look at roses very differently. Some people look at a rose like it's a very romantic gesture or an object of romance or love. Somebody who's been through a horrible experience and roses were involved in that in some way may look at roses as connected to that horrible experience. So for me, who may look at roses in a light of love and romance, someone else might look at roses in the sense of torment or distress or something to be concerned about. It's very different on how each of us have associations that connect with different things. And that's often based on our life experiences and associations that we hold within. Our brain does this subconsciously. We gather all sorts of information and all sorts of subconscious associations and things that we relate with. Knowledge as well as experience that we've been through, all of that has an effect on our intuition. In order to really understand your intuition, you really have to understand that it takes both, what's the right word? I don't want to call it imagination, but it does take a certain amount of going with the flow as opposed to conscious reasoning. It takes an amount of both of those. You can't use your intuition without without using your reasoning. I tend to be a bit of a critical thinker, and so I'm really defining those moments of intuition, and understanding where they come from is going to be much more helpful in understanding what they mean and what they're trying to say to you in the moment of situations. I hope that makes sense. It's really about finding a balance between that reasoning and that intuition. Sort of like finding a balance between your head and your gut. Do you know what I mean by that? Like, sometimes intuition comes in the when you think of like head intuition, where you have that knowledge where you suddenly know something and you're not sure why you know it, but you can trust it. Or you get that gut intuition where you get that gut feeling, sort of like butterflies, or you get nervous. Our bodies can speak to us through our intuition. It's not just our mindset, and quite often that can be a misunderstanding about intuition. We know what the way your heart speaks to you, the way your gut speaks to you. It really goes along with those energy centers. If you're familiar with like energy chakras, it really goes hand in hand with those energy centers and how we can relate to those. There's different ways of connecting with intuition. If you're interested to learn more about your own intuition, it would be my suggestion to look at some shadow work. The better that you know yourself, the better you're going to be able to relate to what yourself is going through. The more you know about your history and your experiences, the better you're going to understand where those associations come from that is linked to your intuition. So you want to pay close attention to the quality of the feeling of the intuition. You know, is it a small nudge, or is it a big red flag, or is it a big sounding alarm? You know, what is your intuition trying to tell you? Quite often there can be a misunderstanding between what intuition feels like versus wishful thinking versus fear. We can be afraid of something, and that can inflict those messages from within to be more careful, to be conscious about this, to restrict ourselves for privacy, or perhaps it's for protection. And it's important to understand the difference between fear and intuition, or between intuition and wishful thinking. Now, what I mean by wishful thinking is more along the lines of, I really hope for this message, and so I'm going to look for that message, and then I find that message. And that's wishful thinking. That's not necessarily being guided by your intuition. Intuitive messages tend to be more expansive, more towards development. It tends to put us into a direction that's good for us, as opposed to fear, which is more restrictive. It's more held back. It's more anxious feeling. So just try to see the difference in that. Some people do make that misconception or misunderstanding that they think they're following their intuition, but it's really wishful thinking or fear that could be guiding them, as opposed to them guiding themselves on the right path. And of course, you can always differentiate that through shadow work. I can't mention shadow work enough. It's really been an important aspect of my practice, and it's really like journaling and looking for those developing patterns that I explained through our emotions and through our experiences, and how we connect with our thoughts and subconscious patterns. Other ways of doing that is, of course, practicing mindfulness, using meditation, yoga, connecting with nature. These are all ways that we can ground ourselves in order to listen more closely to our intuition. Now, some people, I have had the question presented to me, that how do you trust your intuition? How do you know that it's the right message? And like I said, you really want to pay close attention to the quality of the intuition, the intuitive message that you're receiving, and really understand where it's coming from for yourself. That's going to differentiate whether it is an intuitive message or whether it's something else that is just coming up and you need to work on or work through. And where does this lead to divination? What does this have to do with tarot? I use my intuitive senses all the time to read the cards. I'm reading the associations that are presented to me, sometimes through the graphics, sometimes through the meaning, sometimes it's through where the card is placed in the layout or spread that I'm using. Different associations stand out to me at different times. Tarot involves symbolisms, yes. For example, wands, cups, pentacles, swords. Those are the suits of the tarot in the lower arcana of the cards, and they all have their specific meanings to them and associations. Swords represent heavy thoughts and intellect. Cups represent emotion. Wands represent the actions that we take, and pentacles is usually our needs in terms of either health or prosperity. They have their own associations, and the way that they stand out to me and connect with my own internal associations is where I get that intuitive sense. It's really what I'm looking for, what stands out most in the card. And you'll hear that tonight as well, I'm sure, in some of the sample readings that I'll give in a moment that will get started shortly. But also, if you look back at previous Tarot Talk Live events and those, or if you've joined me at previous live events, you'll notice that I don't just stick to the symbolisms of the cards. I also explain what stands out for me most in the graphics, or in the imagery, or in the illustration that's used in the different decks. Or the way that one card may speak with another card side by side. Often I'll intuitively be drawn to that, and I have to follow through with my intuition during my readings. It's really important to me that I follow my intuitive sense during readings, which is what makes me an intuitive reader. I not only use my intuition, but I'm also using the symbolisms of the cards through forces of numerology, as well as the arcana aspects as well. I do hope that makes sense. Let me know if there are any questions in the chat during. Thank you, Roseanne, for just confirming, you understand what I'm saying, yeah, you can have associations with really anything, and that really ties as well into spell work and other forms of divination as well. Having associations with different objects, and you can use them in your workings or rituals to connect more deeply with those, with that association. So using roses for love, for example, if that fits with your association for love. So if there are no questions, we're gonna dive into those free readings tonight. And I feel like I'm forgetting to mention something, so I'll probably mention it when it comes to mind. I'm gonna get started. I'm just gonna start by clearing my decks. Now, I'm an intuitive reader. I'm also a trans-dimensional reader, which often sounds way more impressive than what it is. What it really means is that I use different dimensions of different decks within one tarot session. So I always start my readings with a one-card impression pull from this deck. This is my Rider-Waite-Smith deck. It's the very first deck that I began to work with. It's the strongest relationship that I have with tarot. So I like to use it for a one-card impression pull just to tell me where my sitter is sitting energetically in the moment. Then I'll move to this deck, which is Morgan Greer deck, which is based on the Rider-Waite-Smith symbolisms, but gives a more comforting approach to it. I'm going to use this deck to analyze a topic or question that you get to choose if you're one of the people having the reading. And or you can leave it general. Quite often when readings are left general, the messages that we need to hear are what come up, but it's up to you if you want to try and refine what you're looking for from the reading session itself. So Elizabeth, if you're available, let me know if you're on the call and we'll get started with you. I'm just going to start that reading, as I mentioned, with a one-card impression pull, just letting me know where you're sitting energetically in the moment. And Elizabeth, as I try to connect with your energy, I notice that the cards are rigid, they're hitting each other, and that's often a sign for me that the person I'm reading for is sort of against themselves in some way. If you're your worst enemy or you're against your own flow, try not to work against your own objective, okay? Now, the card that I get for you, Elizabeth, is the Three of Cups. It did not come out reversed. This is what the imagery looks like. And you can see here these three individuals. They look like friends, and they're kind of celebrating their cups together, almost like they're cheering, or this could be like three friends celebrating wine over gossip. Three in numerology is about communication, and cups are emotion in tarot. So when we have emotional communication that's taking place, and the card it comes up like this, it often represents something that you can share, something that you can communicate, that you can be proud of and celebrate perhaps, and share in that celebration. If the card came out this way, it would be like more negative connotation to that communication. It could be like gossip or rumors or things said that you don't agree with. So just know that this is more in a positive light or in a good nature. What's really standing out for me, according to my intuitive sense, is the way that these three friends are cheering. That doesn't always stand out for me in the way that they're posing in the imagery, and so that's really standing out for me this time. As well as the robes that they're wearing, I really feel like they have something to celebrate. And so in your energy yourself, Elizabeth, I feel like you have something you can celebrate, something that you can share. Let me know how that resonates. Now, Elizabeth, do you have a topic or question you'd like me to focus on for this reading? Otherwise, I can leave it general. Now, I'm not seeing the message. Apologies if you've written and I haven't seen it yet. Sometimes it does take a moment. Elizabeth Aldrich, if you're on the call, just make sure you let me know, and if you have a topic or question. Otherwise, I will leave it general and continue with the reading. If anyone, I should mention that, if anyone loses their connection or you miss your time when it comes for your name to come on to receive your reading, what I'll do is I'll go through with a general reading in hopes that it hits on what you're needing to hear most, and you can always look back at the recording to get that reading. I do reach out to people afterwards if you received a reading and you weren't able to receive it, or for whatever reason that I feel I may need to connect with people. I should also mention that on these broadcasts, I've even had scammers come in pretending to be me and making copies of my account and talking to the people that attend the broadcast. So just be wary of that. I do not ambush people with readings. I don't give messages like, oh, I was drawn to you and reach out to me for your reading. No, I'm offering the readings in the live. So just be aware of that. I usually will reach out through a message proving that it's me through my website or through my email. So Elizabeth, I'm going to leave it general, and I'm just going to connect with that. Now, all three cards have come out reversed, and so this is often a sign for me right off the bat that the person I'm reading for is going through a hard time or is seeing this as a challenge moving forward, sort of like a challenging path to walk. And you have a higher arcana and two suits. Now, the two suits that have come out are also cups, and really interesting the way that they're coming out in terms of compared to the energy that you're in now. And I'm going to talk about that in a moment. I'm just going to go in the reverse order that they came out. This is the Six of Cups reversed. It often represents, when it looks like this, it often represents for me like memories, sometimes childhood memories, sometimes memories of a childhood. Sometimes it's about memories of the past. And it's about connecting with those memories and how they affect us emotionally. When it's reversed, it's almost like not being able to connect with memories, or memories seem to be fading. You're trying to remember. There seems to be this disconnect of some kind. Now, what's also prevalent is the Five of Cups. 5 in numerology is often about choice. 6 in numerology is often about how we interact with others, which is where I get the sense that with interacting others and emotional interaction, it's often about memories. With a choice in terms of memory, it's often about getting over some sort of loss. And with this card being reversed, it means that it's in your past and you can like move away from this loss, but it still may be affecting you today. Now, the next card that I want to focus on for you, Elizabeth, is the World card reversed. This is a higher arcana card. When it's reversed like this, it's often about not changing your perspective, not looking at the world from different points of view. It's okay to look at it the way that you are. Don't feel like you have to change it for anyone else other than yourself. If it feels important to you to make those changes, that's what's important. What you need for yourself in your world and how you look at the world is what this card is about. And when it's reversed, it's basically saying accept it for what it is. You don't need to change your perspective. Now, when I look at this reading as a whole and I bring it right back to where you are now in the moment, you have this like emotion to celebrate. You have something going on that you can feel good about and talk about and feel good about sharing. And then you have this experience that you're going through. I think part of this, what you can start to express as helpful or hopeful, is the fact that you've gotten over this loss of some kind, because it is in your energy. And these memories that you can now hold close and no longer affect you in some way, and it's okay to not change your point of view on this. I think what this is really saying is that you're looking at this the right way, even though it's a very hard path to walk. I'm wondering if it would be helpful, Elizabeth, to expand on this reading further using my Heart Chakra deck. I use this deck a lot in my readings. It really gives great insight and perspective of what we need for ourselves, and sometimes that can turn into some great advice moving forward. And I think that might be helpful for you given how challenging it comes across the path that you're walking. And so I'm just going to focus on that. I'm focusing on the energies of this reading right from the beginning, and I'm just asking this deck for 3 cards to describe what you need most for yourself. And this is for Elizabeth. Oh, thank you so much, Elizabeth. I do see your message there that this makes sense. I appreciate that confirmation. Now, really interesting cards have come out. You have all suits, 2 emotions, and an intellect. These would be like water cards and an earth card, similar to cups and a sword. I'm just gonna go in the order that they came out, okay? This is the 6 of emotions. 6 in numerology is how we interact with others, and the emotion in this is the color of the border around the card tells me the suit. And you can see here that it's showing a bow of a boat, and they're going so fast that they can't really see where they're going because it lifts the bow up and they're going towards this light. And it's the believe and succeed card. I think what this is really saying that is in order to succeed, you have to believe. You have to understand where you're headed in order to steer that ship, so to speak. And I think what this is saying is really touching on, you know, you can have confidence moving forward. You just have to believe in yourself. The next card is the Two of Air, which is equivalent to a Two of Swords in tarot. And it's about refusing to see. Now, when this card comes out in this kind of reading where it's more of an advice moving forward kind of outlook, I often see this as being like that it's okay to see the way that you're looking. There's no reason to change. You know, if you're refusing to see, you're often sticking to your own viewpoint. And so that's what's standing out for me and also the third eye in his helmet is really standing out for me, and I really think that intuitively is telling me that you can follow your intuitive sense yourself. Your third eye chakra is all about envisioning and using your intuition and sort of like using your mind's eye. And I think you can trust your intuition, and that's what this is about. I would be careful if you're refusing to see your intuition, but this feels more like an interaction of some kind. Now, the next card is the Four of Water reversed. And 4 numerology is often about finding grounding and structure for ourselves, and water, again, is equivalent to cups in tarot, which is all about emotion. What's really standing out for me is that this is the joy and stability card reversed. And what that often means for me in this kind of spread is don't go looking for the joy and stability. It'll get created for you along the journey. It's really about, I think what this is really saying is go within, look within, figure out what's happening for you internally, and that's going to help you clear this path. That's going to help you see where you're going. That's going to help you see what you refuse to see, and also find the joy and stability in the journey that you're headed. Don't look at it like, don't look for the joy and stability in what you're going through, because these cards are saying it's a difficult journey. I think you want to be careful making light of a difficult journey. Quite often there are lessons involved that need to be learned along the way to gain that enlightenment. I do hope that this was helpful, Elizabeth, and that it makes sense. Let me know if you have any questions about the cards that have come out. Otherwise, I'm going to move on to Roseanne Darby. If you're on the call, let me know. And if you have a question or topic you'd like me to focus on during your reading. And I do have one spot still available for anyone who might be interested to receive a free reading tonight on the call. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Oh, you're very welcome. I just saw your message pop up there, Elizabeth. You're very welcome. I'm glad that this makes sense. I do hope that it's helpful. So I'm just going to clear my cards, and then I'm going to move to Roseanne. So Roseanne, if you're on the call, just let me know. Well, thank you so much, Roseanne. I do see your message there that you sent some stars. I really appreciate that. I haven't quite figured out how the star system works on Facebook, but I do know that it shows appreciation, and thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that myself. Family, Journal, and Health. Absolutely, I can do that. Oh, hi, Rhonda and Bill. How are you? I'm so glad to see you on the call. So, Roseanne, I'm going to start with a 1-card impression pull that's just going to tell me where you're sitting energetically in the moment. And then I'll move to my other deck where you'll have an opportunity to explore that topic or question of family, general, and health. Like general and health regarding your family. Is that what you're meaning? And for you, I get this Higher Arcana card reversed, the Hermit card. When the Hermit card comes out reversed in this way, Roseanne, it often means somebody who's no longer being introverted. You're now, as the expression goes, coming out of your shell. You are no longer sticking to yourself. You may be looking for those supports around you. You may be reaching out to those people around you more. You're no longer sticking to yourself. This card sometimes comes out for someone who feels like it's no longer all on their shoulders. Like you can take the weight off and share it with someone around you, perhaps. Or I'm getting this sense of a release of some kind. Let me know if that makes sense to you. And I'm going to focus on your family general health. Thank you for clarifying. So I'm just focusing on your energies and charging the cards with that intention. Now, there is a card that popped out here, and I do feel like this is an important message that needs to be delivered because the card is a higher arcana card. Did you notice it flip as I was shuffling? It is the Star card reversed. Now, I don't like to ignore this. It's often what I refer to as a flipper card. There are no coincidences in tarot. And I was just beginning to charge these cards or this deck, and this popped out. So I feel like this is like an additional message beyond your reading. And the Star card reversed often pops out for someone who has this bright light inside them, Roseanne, that you can shine real bright. But when it's reversed, you tend to dull your light. You tend to hold yourself back. And when we don't hold ourselves back anymore, when we shine that light really bright, that skill, that talent that's within you, the card flips around like this and you're in your element. You're shining that light that's in you. When it's reversed, it doesn't mean that that light isn't in you. Anyone who receives this card has that bright light. It's really saying to believe in yourself, and when you do, you'll connect with that light. But in the meantime, it looks like this. I'm going to add that back to the deck and continue shuffling, charging the cards with your intended question. I do hope that that little message is helpful. I think you need to believe in yourself more. I think you may be stronger than you think internally. So I'm focusing on the question, family, general, and health. I feel like the cards want to be in a very specific order. So the three cards have come out are all suits. We have a Pentacles and two Swords. I'm going to work my way through the Swords first towards that Pentacle. I just feel drawn in this reading to go in that direction. This is the Two of Swords reversed. It often represents somebody who is no longer is no longer blindfolded from information in order to make a choice. The card originally looked like this, where you had to choose without having all the information. I think you've recently received some of that information, and so now it's just about making that choice. It's about determining all the information that you have and making the best choice based on the information you have. When the card does not come out reversed like this, it usually means that you don't have that information, but the choice needs to be made already. So just know that this often comes across for me when it comes out this way, that the information has presented itself. It's just a matter of possibly making that choice. Or when it comes out reversed like this, it can also mean that you've already made that choice and you can put it behind you. Let me know which one of those resonates with you. I have a feeling they both kind of stand out for me, both of those meanings. I'm not sure how they're connected together, but if this was a choice that happened in the past that's still affecting you today, that would be one way that I could associate that. Okay, so let me know if that makes sense to you, Roseanne. The next card is the Queen of Swords. Now, what's interesting about this card being side by side to a Two of Swords reversed is that Queen of Swords are all about making those choices, using your intellect and high intellectual processes and heavy thoughts in order to make those decisions moving forward. It's about sitting in the Queen of Swords throne. Queens tend to be more nurturing aspects who make decisions in the best interest of the people around them. And swords are heavy thoughts and intellect. So this is something that's heavy on your mind, something you really have to think about carefully and make the right choices that are going to affect other people around you. The next card is the Three of Pentacles reversed. I like to call this card the student card when it comes out like this. When it's reversed, it's basically saying you're no longer the student, you're more the teacher in this. You have the experience, you have the gained knowledge. You're not the student, you're not needing to learn about this. You just need to press forward. What I think is really encouraging about this question, because it was based on family, general, and health, is it's basically telling you to trust yourself, to, that you're making the right choices moving forward, that you have the knowledge you need to do this. And if you were waiting on information, it should be coming, or you've received it. So this choice is in the forefront. It's no longer affecting you today, so to speak. Let me know how that makes sense. When I relate this reading to where you're sitting now in the moment, with the Hermit card reversed, it's like opening up. I have a feeling that the message is kind of relating to this, opening up in the sense of, you're no longer the student. You have the knowledge to do this. You're making those decisions sitting in the Queen's throne. That may have been something that was difficult for you, and that's why the Hermit card was right side up at some point or another, even though it's reversed now. I do hope that this all makes sense, Roseanne. Let me know if you have any questions on this. I would like to extend further into this reading a little bit, see if I can be helpful. I'm wondering if my Zen deck may be appropriate to go next. Zen deck gives great insight in terms of those energetic interactions that take place. And given all this that's happening, I wonder if I can look at what would be the best energetic interaction moving forward for you. What's the mindset that needs to be focused on here? Now, I don't know if there's current concerns that you might have in terms of family or health, but quite often this kind of reading, when I expand on it, it gives you the advice moving forward that can be helpful to take on those challenges. So I think that might be encouraging, given how all of this seems to talk about confidence and being secure and being able to do this, even though it seems very very, very difficult with these decisions and the heavy thoughts and the what you may be going through. Oh, I understand. Thank you for sharing that, Roseanne. It's a little bit of insight. And I think the next cards are really going to help with what you just said there. Finally hoping to get justice for family that hurt you in the past. I'm going to work my way towards the higher arcana in the way the cards have come out. This is the control card. It's about taking control. It's about sitting in the King of Swords position. That's what this is. This is the air card, and it's considered the king. It's about being in control, taking control of whatever is going on. And I think that's the mindset, that's the energetic interaction that's happening for you. As you mentioned, hoping to get justice for things that have happened in the past. I think you're taking control of this in some way. Seeing the possibilities. This is the Two of Fire, equivalent to Wands in Tarot, and it's representing those options of actions and seeing the possibilities for taking those actions. I think what this is really standing out for me is the way the ego is soaring, looking for the prey. It's like there's the opportunity. The ego has to plan its strategic move to catch the prey. And it's much more than just seeing it from above and catching it, because they have such great vision. They can see it from such a distance. They don't want to be seen approaching their prey, so the prey gets away. There's a lot that has to be involved in that. It's about creating this in-depth plan to get to your goals. And that's what this card is often about. It's about the actions that you take to create possibilities. We often have to see the opportunity to take advantage of those opportunities or those possibilities. So keep that in mind. I think that you have some choices of possibilities for this. And then the next card, which is the Higher Arcana card, is the Thunderbolt card. This is equivalent to the Tower card in Tarot, where it's really about self-empowerment in this Tarot deck structure, where it's almost like if you believe in or have been trained in the Witch's Flame, for example, it's about cleansing yourself from things that no longer serve you, by inflaming your aura, by burning it away visually. And that's what's being depicted here. It's showing that this person is completely being electrified, and anything that doesn't serve them is falling off and being burned away, and it's about a cleansing. And I think that's what this card is mentioning for you, Roseanne. It's about cleansing away maybe the hurt, for example, but it's about cleansing away energy and the experience that you may have been through. I do hope that this is helpful. I think the best message that comes out of the insight moving forward was really that you're taking control. And because you're no longer the Hermit, because the Hermit card was reversed in the energy you're sitting in now, I really think that that's connected with that. That, you know, you're coming out of your shell. You're no longer stepping back, holding yourself back. You're standing your power, or at least beginning to, or learning to stand your power. And just know that the Thunderbolt is often about something that needs to be completely destructed or taken away in your energy in order for you to move ahead anew. I see. So completely understandable with what you just explained, Roseanne, that you may be going through, that the cards would present in this way. You kind of have to go with the flow of those challenges, right? And I think that's really about the possibilities in the actions that you take moving forward. I think you also have an experience that's going to help you with making those decisions, as these two cards are side by side, the no longer the student and sitting in that Queen of Thrones position to make those decisions. If this card came out reversed, I would be concerned that you're either avoiding those responsibilities or not being able to sit in the throne for some reason, either missing information or not having all the information or skill that you need. So just know that when it's this way, you're capable, you're able of sitting in that throne making those decisions. I do hope that this was helpful. Let me know if you have any last questions. Otherwise, I'm going to start cleansing the decks and putting the cards away, and then I'll move on to Lindsay Stafford. Lindsay, if you have a question or comment you'd like me to focus on, just let me know. Otherwise, it can be left general. Thank you so much, Roseanne, for letting me do your reading for you. I'm just cleansing and clearing the decks before I move into the next reading. With Lindsay, if you're still there, I do see a warning about a slow connection tonight, unfortunately, so I do hope that the quality has not been tampered. So Lindsay, just let me know if you have a question or topic you'd like me to focus on, or if you want to leave it general. I don't mind if people want to try and refine what they're looking for from the message itself. And I'm going to start the reading with a one-card impression pull just to see where you're sitting energetically in the moment. Now, I apologize if you've already put in your message and I'm still waiting to see it. I may not have seen it yet. Sometimes there is a delay, especially with slow connections. Lindsay, while I'm waiting for your topic or question, the card that I get for you in your energy in the moment is the Queen of Wands. Now, as I mentioned earlier in the call, queens are often the decision makers of the tarot deck, queens and kings. It just depends on the types of decisions that you're dealing with and whether it's reversed or not, that it gives me those impressions. And with a Queen of Wands sitting in this way, not reversed, in your energy in the moment, it tells me that you are deciding on the actions moving forward. Wands represent those actions, and queens are, as I mentioned, are those decision makers. What I notice here is the little kitten, the little black cat that's in the card, and that doesn't always stand out for me, and so I need to follow my intuitive sense on that. Cats can mean two different things for me. One is an intuitive sense, almost like a warning sign. If you think about like black cats crossing your path, you can look at that one of two ways. Is the cat giving you bad luck by crossing your path, or is the cat, by walking your path, warning you in some way that bad luck is coming? And so I think it depends on how you look at that. But I think that you have this intuitive sense, that you get this inkling feeling like something's off or something's about to happen, or you don't know what this means and what does it mean, and it sort of drives you nuts on the inside, not understanding it fully. And that's where the cat stands out for me. It's like that crossing your path where the bad luck is coming your way, and you're able to receive that message. Now, this doesn't say that bad luck is coming your way. It's telling me that you have this ability to know when bad luck is coming your way, and that the card shows up like this. So if it came out reversed, it would mean that you're unable to sit in this throne's position, or sit in this, sit as the Queen of Thrones to make those decisions. There'd be something stopping you or something holding you back. So just know that you can do this. You are able to sit in the Throne of Wands. Now, I haven't seen a topic or question from you yet, Lindsay. I do hope that I'm not missing any messages that are coming up. If you have a topic or question, let me know. I can leave it general just to proceed with the readings, and hopefully I can touch on what it is you were hoping to receive tonight. Quite often when I leave readings general, the messages that are needed to be heard are what come up, but I do like to leave it up to anyone if they want to try and refine what they're looking for from the reading itself. Now, I have four cards that have popped up here that flipped over themselves, and so I'm not going to ignore that, and I'm going to follow that. So I originally was only going to pull 3 cards, but I'm just going to follow my intuitive sense and go through with this. Oh, hi Lindsay, welcome back. I hope we didn't lose you. If you do have a topic or question, let me know. As I was charging the cards with a general reading, 4 cards flipped over and just called to me, and so I'm going to follow through with this. I have a feeling it's a message that you need to hear for yourself. I'm just going to go in the order that they came out, okay? This is the Ace of Rods. Wands and tarot represent the actions that we take, and aces are like when it comes out of nowhere, or this new idea, this new action that you have to take. And you can see here how it's being handed out of the clouds. That's where I get this sense that it's like out of nowhere, or brand new, or this new action that needs to be taken. Then we have the King of Cups. Now, what's really interesting about this is in your energy now we have the Queen of Wands about the actions that you need to take, and then you have the King of Cups making emotional decisions about this in moving forward. Notice that both of these are not reversed, and so I feel like these are positions that you can sit in and that you can just make those decisions for yourself. Now, the next card is the Sun card reversed, and this card often represents a healing that could be taking place. Just know that when you get to that healing, that's when this card will flip around and you'll be in that healing. But you're on your way there. There's still some work to be done, and that's why the card is reversed. So don't give up. Don't get discouraged. Focus on the healing that's needed, and eventually this card will flip around and you'll reach that goal. But in the meantime, it looks like this. You're still on your way there. Now the next card is the Justice card. This is also a higher arcana card, and it represents sort of the fairness. What's standing out for me a lot in the card is not only the the sword, which represents those heavy thoughts and intellect that are on your mind, but the scales, almost like finding a balance in making this right. Let me know how this makes sense to you, Lindsay. When I look at this reading as a whole, your higher arcana cards are one reversed and one not, and you have two of them, and that often represents for me a choice of indecision happening. It's really about making the best choice for you moving forward. When I bring this reading right back to where you are now in your energy, with the Queen of Wands being in on the table for where you're sitting now, I really think that you're going to, like, you're in the process of making the decisions in terms of the actions to take next, and you have new actions presenting themselves. So this could be like something that needs to be decided upon. I do hope that this is helpful. Let me know how you resonate with these questions or with these messages. I'm going to move forward and extend a little further. I'm wondering if it would be helpful, given that you're approaching this healing and about this Justice card being out, if I go back to my heart chakra deck in terms of what you may need for yourself moving forward in this. I think that that might be helpful. Now, if you have an area that you'd like me to look in, by all means, suggest. I'm just waiting to see if there's any more messages that come up. So the three cards that have come up are interesting. One's a higher arcana and two suits. I'm going to work on those two suits and move towards that higher arcana. The first card on the suit is the Eight of Earth. This is equivalent to a pentacle in tarot, and the card reversed about moving on. Normally the card looks like this, and it's about moving on, contemplating on what you're leaving behind, really moving on from some sort of experience or what's bothering you. When it's reversed, it's saying that you don't need to move on from this. I think that this is something that may be important to you or passionate about for you, and so it would be hard to move on from. So it's really saying don't look at this like you have to move on from it. Now, the other card beside it is really interesting, and it's the Awaiting Results reversed. 7 in numerology is often about that spiritual development or spiritual path, and the color around the card tells me that this is about the actions to take along that spiritual path. When we take actions along our spiritual path, it's really saying don't await the results. Don't think that you're just going to put in the work and you'll see the results come to you in the future. It's really about receiving those results as you do the work. It's about enjoying the journey as you walk the path. Keep that in mind as you move forward, okay? And the higher arcana card is the solar plexus chakra card reversed. What's really interesting about this card is I asked the heart chakra deck for advice moving forward, and it led us to a different energy center. The solar plexus chakra is often about our bravery, our nervousness, when we get those gut feelings. When it's reversed like this, it often tells me that there's an imbalance there, that either you get too nervous or too anxious and it holds you back, or you don't get nervous and anxious enough and you're just going to like throw yourself out there into situations that aren't helpful. And it's about finding that center, what's not too much anxiety, what's not enough anxiety or nervousness, or however you connect it with your sacral, or your solar plexus energy center. You want to find the perfect balance so that you're not too much, you're not too little, and you find that energy center. what this is saying with it being reversed is that there's some work to be done there. You're in the process of creating that balance. I do hope that this was helpful, Lindsay. Oh, thank you for that feedback. Just letting, yes, that I'm being so insightful. Thank you for that. It just lets me know that I'm on the right track. When I bring this reading right back to where you're sitting energetically in the moment with this Queen of Wands, looking forward on this, the advice moving forward, they are all reversed. And that's telling me that this is still going to be a difficult journey. It's not going to be the easiest to follow through with this advice. Hi Mina, thanks so much. Actually, yes, I have one last spot available that I can give you a reading. Lindsay, let me know if you have any questions about what's in the cards here. Otherwise, I'll start to clear the cards and move on, and I'll be moving on to Meg Ferris. Meg, if you're still on the call, let me know, and if you have a topic or question you'd like me to focus on, otherwise it can be left general. Thank you so much, Lindsay, for letting me do your reading for you. Oh, thank you for that feedback, Rhonda. I'm glad that you're enjoying the messages this evening. Sometimes the messages can really stand out for individuals who are not necessarily receiving the reading. It really depends on how the cards resonate with you and how you associate the messages to different aspects of your life. Tarot can be helpful in so many ways that way, which is how group readings really work. You know, when I do conjoint group readings, like one time I did a corporate event where it was a group conjoint reading, meaning everybody had the same topic or question in mind, and I generally read the crowd. And I used a dilemma spread to help the group solve a challenge working together in the project they were doing. And it was such a phenomenal experience to watch the connection and closure that they received from analyzing and relating to the card messages to what they were going through. And it helped them. It helped them find resolution in the challenges they were up against. So you never know how it'll connect, which is what I find so fascinating about tarot in the first place. General reading, absolutely, Meg, I can do that for you. So I start my reading with a one-card impression pull, and that's just going to tell me where you're sitting energetically in the moment, and then I'll move to that other deck, the Morgan Greer deck, where I'll get that general reading for you. Oh, you're very welcome, Lindsay. Meg, for you I get the 10 of Pentacles. This card is often about connection with family. What's standing out for me in the card imagery itself is not only the pentacles as coins, but the robes that the people are wearing in the image. I think what this is really talking about is prosperity in terms of like receiving something from family. So there may be like an inheritance or something passed down, or perhaps a support or help from family. Let me know how that makes sense to you, okay? I'm going to focus on that general reading. I'm just going to pull 3 cards from this deck, and we're just going to look at how those cards are associated with each other to receive those messages. Very specific order. So 3 cards have come out, a higher arcana, 2 suits. The 2 suits are sort of bookending the reading. I'm going to work my way this way through the reading. I don't know why I'm drawn that way, but I'm just going to follow that intuitive sense. This is the 5 of Wands. 5 in numerology represents a choice that needs to be made. If you think about 5 in numerology in terms of a journey from like 0 to 10, when you get to 5, you have just as much effort to continue on to reach the goal as you do as turning around and going back to the beginning. And so it's about making that choice. And wands represent actions in tarot. When this is reversed like this, it's about no longer having to make a choice in terms of the actions that you're taking. This card comes across like competition when I look at it this way. It's the one wand up against the other wands, and it's like a competitive rivalry of some kind. And when it's reversed, it often means that either you can put that behind you or you've avoided this from taking place. So you may have taken the right action in order to avoid this rivalry or your actions up against all these other actions in some way. Now, the next card I want to focus on is the Higher Arcana card. It's the Moon card reversed. Now, Meg, I have to point out that the Moon card does not show up on the table for someone who doesn't have that intuitive sense. So just know that you can trust your intuition, you can follow your instincts. They're going to guide you well. When the card's reversed like this, it means you may not fully listen, or that you don't believe it's there, or that you may be second questioning yourself. Have more confidence because this card shows up on the table. When you start believing in that intuitive sense, when you start following those instincts more clearly, this card's when it flips around and you're now in your intuition. You're following that intuition or that instinct. You're connecting with it. In the meantime, it looks like this. Now, the next card out of this pull so far is the Ace of Cups. This is about discovering some new way to feel. It's okay to think differently about how you're feeling. It's okay to feel differently. It's about discovering this new way to feel, this new emotion coming out of nowhere. So just go with it. Don't deny it. It's okay for this new emotion or this new way to feel. If this card came out reversed, it would be a different story. It would be like, don't change the way you're feeling. Don't trust new feelings, new emotions, and it's really saying to go with it. It's when it's this way, it's like, these are new emotions coming out of nowhere, and you just kind of have to go with the flow of them. So feel it out. I think if you trust it more, that's what this is gonna flip around, this instinct card with the moon, and I think it comes across as a positive affirmation that you've done something well in terms of the actions that you've taken. So allow that to help you feel more confident and secure in what you're doing or how you're feeling. I do hope that this makes sense. Oh, thank you for that feedback, Meg. All of the above. I'm glad that this resonates. I'm wondering how I can extend further. If there's an area that I can look into. I feel drawn to my elemental deck. This is my elements deck. It's an oracle. It gives great insight in terms of what's involved. And so I'm just going to focus on this deck. I'm going to pull one card from this deck, and I'm just asking this oracle to define further the process that you're going through. What is needed? Sort of like, what's the message that needs to be heard? And the card is the Ice and Purity card. Just show the image for a moment. It's really about breaking out of your barrier of some kind. It's about being freed. It's about no longer being isolated or trapped. I really feel like it's also about cleansing. The way the snow is falling around the white horse, the blizzard almost conditions of hardly being able to see the surroundings or the background, and just allowing that wild drive to drive you, and no longer hibernating. Maybe this could recommend going internal. Sometimes this card can represent sort of doing that grounded shadow work, finding that purity and structure for yourself. But this card often comes across as confidence, and I think that's what is showing here. It's really about just believing in yourself, trusting your intuition, following that instinct, and the horse is really standing out for me as that instinct, to follow your intuitive sense. I do hope that this is helpful, Meg. Oh, thank you for that message. Good direction. I'm glad to hear that. Do you have any questions about what's come out here so far? Thank you so much, Meg, for letting me do your reading for you. I really appreciate it. I'm going to start cleansing and putting away the cards, and then I'll move on to Alex. Alex Garcia, if you're on the call, let me know. Hi, Athena Lavez. I have filled up my reading list for tonight, but what I'll definitely do is I will write your name down, and I will add you to my draw. The draw is happening on December 9th, Monday, December 9th, and it's a 1 in 5 chance to receive a remote reading over Zoom one-on-one with me. So anyone who doesn't make it into this, my 6 short readings that I'm doing on the broadcast tonight, I like to offer that as a sort of consolation for not getting on the list. So I apologize, but I do only take up to 6 people. Hi, Mina. Yep, I'm going to do Alex's reading, and then you're after Alex. And then that's the 6 readings for tonight. Thank you, Alex, for sharing me with your topic. Absolutely, I can look into that. Let me just clear away my cards and cleanse them, and we'll start charging them with that question next. You're very welcome, Nina. And you're welcome, Athena. You can always check out my website as well for other opportunities for free readings. If you're local to Ontario, Canada, I do offer free 1-card impression pulls at all the local events that are listed in the upcoming events section. And you just have to catch me while I'm between private readings to receive those 1-card impression pulls. And I also have the moon pulls on full moons and new moons, as well as my free draw that I mentioned, as well as the Tarot Talk Live events, all sorts of ways that people can get opportunities for free readings. I actually track out all the readings that I do, including free readings, and I keep myself in check to give away 30% of my business. I do intuitive readings as a business, and so sometimes there are people who just don't get the opportunity, or maybe can't afford it, or never received a reading before to know what it's like. And so I like to make sure that I offer those opportunities for people to get to know what it's like, or about me, or how I do readings. And so there are always opportunities for free readings available on my website. Now I'm just looking through the messages. Okay, so Alex, I'm going to start with a 1-card impression pull that's going to tell me where you're sitting energetically in the moment. Then I'll move to the next deck, and that's when I'll focus on your question on that relationship. In the meantime, in the moment, there's this loss that you're getting over. This is the 5 of Cups reversed. When the card is this way, just to explain the card's meaning and where I'm getting that intuitive sense from, when the card is this way, it often represents analyzing that emotional loss. When it's reversed, it means that you've done that analyzation. The loss is behind you, even though it still affects your energy today. Let me know how that resonates with you, Alex. I'm going to move right into that the question or topic that you presented, and I'm just focusing on the relationship. And I'm just going to look back quickly to make sure I word this right. What will it be like with the current relationship? So I have to mention that looking into the future a little bit on this question, I can do, but I need to stress that the future is liquid and that the choices that you make between now and then can change the reading. So just keep that in mind as we look at the potential from this point on, if that makes sense. Wow. Okay. So really great messages for you here, Alex. I'm just going to go in a specific order that the cards call to me, okay? This is the Four of Pentacles. It's about finding grounding and structure in what you need for yourself. So you can see here he's got the Four Pentacles and he has the structure on, grounded, and he's got it in his grasp and he has it on his mind, and everything that he needs for himself, he's figuring this out, and that's what that card represents. The next card I want to point out is the Nine of Pentacles. It did not come out reversed, and this represents sort of putting together your life in the way that you'd like to see fit. 9 in numerology is when we reach that end task or that end goal. And Pentacles, again, about those needs, what we need for ourselves, either health or finances. What's really standing out for me is her exotic robe, her interesting pet. She's eating some grapes. She has this fancy ring. It's really about the way that this person in the image has put their life together in the way that they see fit. And so I see you on the process of putting your life together in the way that you see fit in the goal that you're achieving. Now, the next card is really the theme of this question, and it's the Chariot card. Again, not reversed, upright, meaning you're off to the races. You are the chariot driver driving the chariot. When you're a chariot driver, there's a lot that you have to do. You have to, steer the mares. You have to keep them healthy. You have to make sure your wheel's not broken, all to maintain your control and win the race. Get to that goal, the end goal. And I see you off to the races. I think that this speaks really encouraging for the relationship that you're in. When I bring it back to where these messages relate to your topic or question, you're in the process of putting together your life in the way that you see fit. This other significant person fits in that, and so I think there's a hope to integrate that into your life. Finding the grounding and structure for what you need for yourself, I think that speaks for itself in terms of if this was reversed, it would be a different story if you weren't grounded and structured in this relationship. So I think that this speaks to what it potentially could bring to you. And then, of course, off to the races, making sure that you have a drive for this, that this is what you want and need, and you're going to work hard to achieve that goal. Now, one thing I want to point out about the way the cards have come across in this reading is that your determination is what's going to lead to your outcome. The Chariot card's really standing out for me, and these two cards are kind of speaking together in terms of finding that grounding and what you need, or what you feel you need for your life, how you'd like to see your life put together versus what you have and what grounds you. I get a sense that this is telling you more how to achieve the good relationship that you have, or how to improve upon the good relationship that you have, instead of telling you what this relationship is going to be like. Does that make sense for you, Alex? So I think there's a lot of potential, and that potential will be determined on your actions moving forward, how you treat this relationship, how you drive the chariot, so to speak. And when I bring this reading right back to where you are now, I'm not sure what this loss is and how it's connected with this. It may be previous relationship perhaps, or it could be in terms of something that you're getting over in order to move forward with this. But I do feel like these are very separate from each other. The loss is where you're getting over the loss and moving past it is where you are now. And in the future, I see you really taking charge, taking direction, gaining that security and grounding, and putting your life together in the way that you see fit, all involving this relationship. I do hope that that makes sense, Alex, and that this was helpful. I'm wondering how I can extend further. Given that this was to ask about a specific relationship, I'm wondering if I can look more into the personality of how you're affected by this relationship. I think that that might also help clarify a little bit where the relationship is headed or leading. Does that make sense to you? I'm just going to focus on that. I'll watch for your question. Okay, cool. Thanks. Okay. So I'm just going to focus on that. I'm going to pull 3 cards from this deck, and we're just going to look at how those cards are associated with each other to get that message. Now, this card uses animal symbolisms to determine quirks and personalities. So just keep that in mind as we go through the messages. Really interesting cards that have come out, actually. 2 higher arcana cards and a suit, and I'll just go in the order that they came out. This is the 10 of Cups. Cups represent emotion in tarot. 10 is when we reach a final destination, an end goal, and it repeats itself, like when we reach a goal and then it starts a new journey. When you think of 10 in numerology perspective, when we count from 1 to 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it's like a journey or a goal that leads to an outcome. When we get to that outcome, we learn something new about it, and we start a new journey from 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, up to 20, and that starts a new journey again, and you're always repeating that 1 to 10 journey. I think what this is really speaking about is this relationship has potential to lead you into a new journey. Like it's going to start a new journey again. Now, the High Priestess card and the Emperor card have come out reversed. And I think what this may be speaking about is some butterflies about this relationship, some nervousness that could be happening. Not wanting to take on the responsibility of what's involved in this. And if I told you, the High Priestess reversed often represents if I told you what was going to happen, it wouldn't happen. So it's really about being careful how these messages get delivered, so not to discourage you because of this feeling of responsibility in some way. I think the ways that you flip these cards around is go with the flow. I mean, this seems like such a positive impression, and with the 10 of Cups, I really think it's going to get you into that new journey. Perhaps this is a fear of attachment in the way that these cards have come across. So either you could have some sort of fear of attachment, or that significant other may have some sort of fear of attachment, so you don't want to necessarily scare them off by being too forceful or too clingy. But the High Priestess card reversed really stands out for me in the way that these cards have come out, and that often represents, like I said, the journey is often the lesson itself. If I told you exactly how to get to your goal, you would miss the lessons that would be learned along the way, and you wouldn't actually achieve the goal. So it's really a self-development journey and process. I think this is going to grow and develop as the relationship matures. Thank you for that clarification, Alex, that it makes sense and you feel this way now. Take that as confirmation. If you feel already this way in terms of what the cards are saying, then take that as like affirmation that you're on the right track, that you understand what's involved in terms of the question or topic that's on the table. Don't let that fear of attachment or commitment hold you back. I really think that that's where you want to focus on, doing that internal shadow work on where it comes from. What are the connections and associations that you hold that create that fear of attachment or commitment? That might help organize that for yourself, because if you can understand it better, you'll understand as well how it affects you, and then when it does affect you, you know where it's coming from, and that might help you move forward and make the right decisions for yourself. I do hope that this was helpful, Alex. Let me know if you have any last questions. Otherwise, I'll start decharging the cards, putting them away, and then I will move on to Mina. Mina, if you're still on the call, let me know. Thank you so much for your patience, Mina. I know you've been waiting quite a while for your reading. I'm just going to scroll up. Yeah. You're very welcome, Alex. Thank you for coming to my live and receiving a reading. Hi, Mina. Thanks for letting me know you're here. Perfect. You're looking for any opportunities coming up? What I'll do is I'll focus on general opportunities coming your way, and then we can see what categories they fit in terms of love or career, job opportunities. Does that sound good? So kind of like a general reading on the opportunities moving forward. And we'll see where it connects. Then you'll know what to expect. Does that make sense? Now, Mina, in your energy in the moment, I have the 10 of Wands reversed. What this card often means is someone who's no longer carrying so much on their shoulders. You've been working through these actions that are all bundled up. You can see here when the card is not reversed that this person, Wands represent actions to be taken in tarot, and this person has so many actions to be taken that they can't even carry them all. It's very difficult, very challenging, almost an overwhelm for the amount that has to get done. And as you work through these actions, as you sort out and lighten your load, that's when the card flips around and it comes out like this, in the way that it came out for you, that you're lightening the load. You're getting through this overwhelm. You're no longer going to be overwhelmed by these actions. The advice that often comes with this card is just focus on one action at a time. Break it down into compartments so that you can work on so much at a time. Get that out of the way, work on the next part, get that out of the way, and eventually you realize, oh, you've done so much and you've completed so much, and you're on your way to completing the amount of actions that need to be taken. Let me know how that fits for you. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, perfect. Thank you for that, Nina. So I'm just focusing on your question now, and what I'm focusing on is I would like the cards to describe the opportunities that are around you, and we'll look at which areas they fit in terms of either career or love or other. Now, fascinating. The very first thing that comes to my attention right away is the first card that came out is the 10 of Wands reversed. So you're sitting in the 10 of Wands reversed energy in the moment, and the reading is about this 10 of Wands energy as well. I think what that's really saying, when I put that in perspective of opportunity, the opportunity is to work through the amount that you've been working through, the amount of actions that you've completed for yourself is the part of the opportunity. Now, the next card is the 8 of Pentacles. It looks like this, and it often represents getting to work, getting the work done. You're accomplishing the work that needs to be completed based on what you need for yourself. And that's what that card represents. If this card came out reversed, it would mean that the work's been put on hold or being avoided or not being completed. So just know that you're getting to this. You're getting the work done. And that leads us to the Hermit card reversed. No longer being introverted, no longer going internally, coming out of that introverted mind state, being able to share or experience with others, coming out of that shell, so to speak, as we talked earlier with this card. I really feel like the opportunity is within you to no longer hold yourself back. Get the work done. Complete all these tasks. It sounds like to me that you've accomplished a lot. And it's those changes moving forward, how those accomplishments have changed you, that are going to bring that opportunity. I think you're in the midst of an opportunity as we speak, Nina. I think working through this, what you're going through now, is all about the opportunities that will be presented in the future. Now, is this in terms of love or career? That's the big question. This card often represents a workplace, the amount of work that needs to be completed. And where you feel like these tasks are associated is probably going to tell you what area of opportunity this involves. I do hope that that's helpful. I'd like to look at how to extend moving forward. I'm wondering if I should go back to my heart chakra deck in terms of what you need for yourself, given that we're talking about opportunities. If I look at what you need for yourself to reach those opportunities, that might be helpful or insightful on where you're headed next, if that makes sense. Now, the three cards that have come out are all higher arcana cards. So this is a really important message moving forward. The cards are trying to direct you in a certain path or in a certain way, okay? I'm just going to go in the order that they came out. This is the Release card reversed. It's often about, when it's reversed, not letting go, allowing the analyzation of what you're going through, really sitting in that energy and simmering and festering in it in order to understand it better, in order to learn from as much as you can from this experience. When it's this way, it's about letting go of it and moving on from. When it's this way, it's like there's still work to be done in that area. This card is often about a release, a healing release in some way. And so I don't get the sense that it's about anything but it's still relating to healing. And I think there's some work to be done in terms of that healing that needs to happen. Now, this is the Shine card. This is similar or equivalent to the Star card of a tarot structure. It's about having that internal gift, that bright light that you can shine on others around you, and others get healed by this light, or they get influenced, or they become, there's a positive effect on others in terms of how you are feeling yourself. It's about knowing yourself well enough that you can shine that internal light. It's basically saying that you can trust that. You can shine your light. That's the advice that's coming out of this next. And the next card, which is the final card in this tarot reading, is the Crown Chakra. Now, we talked a little bit about energy centers and the different chakras. What I find interesting about this is, again, I asked the Heart Chakra deck for advice, and it led us to another energy center, the Crown Chakra. The Crown Chakra is often about how we give things thought, how we let things simmer in our brain, how we give the intellectual processes that go on. And so if our chakra is not balanced, we're either giving something way too much thought or not enough thought. So if we give things too much thought, we can overthink something, and we might jump to conclusion, or we might overview the certain topic or question that is contemplated. If we don't think enough about things, if we don't give something enough thought, we may be impulsive, we may not think through our actions, and so either of these areas can be damaging or concerning. So it's about finding that perfect center. What's the right balance? What's not too much thought? What's not enough thought? What's the right amount of thought and intellectual process going on? This card is often about not straining yourself. You may feel like you've overwhelmed or burnt out yourself in the amount of thinking that you've been doing. And so now you're creating that balance. What's not enough? What's not too much? What's the right amount? And when the card comes out not reversed, it means you're working on that you are doing the right things to make that happen. It's just there's some work that still needs to be done. So just keep that in mind, but you're on the right track. What I like about the advice moving forward is it's all about internal empowerment. What you need for yourself, Mina, is to trust and believe in yourself and not release and let go of something that is important to you. Not overthinking it, giving it the right amount of thought. I do hope that this is helpful, Mina. Let me know if you have any final questions about the cards that have come out. Oh, thank you for that feedback. I love it. I do hope that this was helpful for you. Thank you so much to everybody on the call who received readings from me tonight. I really appreciate you coming, and even if you just came to watch the readings, it's very much appreciated. Join me for my next Tarot Talk Live event next month on Tuesday, December 17th, 2024, where I'll be talking about ways of using tarot during the holidays. Just a fun little discussion topic to go with the time of year, and I do hope you can join me. Check out my website for all those upcoming events, including my free draw, the upcoming full moon and new moon polls, and all sorts of opportunities available, as well as all the in-person events at local places where you can come and meet me in person. And join me for the Sacred Meadow Circle virtual gathering on Wednesday, November 20th. There is a registration that's involved, but that it is a free registration. It's only set up that way to avoid scammers or fraudulent activity from entering the gatherings. The last thing we want is the gathering to be bombarded or bombed, Zoom bombed as they put it. So just keep that in mind, that when we register, I don't use the emails for anything else other than to send out the join links to the meetings. If you ever have any questions about my practice or about me or about the services that I offer, again, my website offers interactivity, so you can send questions directly from the website, or you can reach out to me in a personal chat, or just send me email, bryantarotreading@gmail.com. And again, my website, www.staffordtarot.com. So thank you again. Thank you so much. I do wish you all well. Take good care, and I'll see you again next time.